Marathoners. He has been, ever since a car left him paralyzed 3.5 years ago.
I do it to survive. I have no choice to be an athlete. I wouldn't want to be anything else. I don't want to die just to being another slob with my name on a headstone. If I die tomorrow, I know that I can smile and say I gave it my best shot. I did my best.
He works at sunrise every morning in a park outside of Long Beach, pushing his body 160 miles in a week. Jim Knaub is in training for the Boston Marathon. He's preparing himself for the grueling 26-mile run, a run in a wheelchair.
I don't see myself in a wheelchair. I'm not in a wheelchair. People say in like it's a cage and I'm trapped in this cage. It's not a part of me, no. I accept it, yes, and I live with it.
Well, hello. Welcome to the Cunningham house.
Took you long enough to answer.
Jim Knaub is an actor by profession. In this scene on a recent Happy Days episode, Jim played an embittered man confined to a wheelchair. The Emmy-nominated program concerns a pet subject to Jim, pity.
You told me that 5 times already. I'm in a wheelchair, but I'm not deaf.
That's it. No, Fonz, my hair was a little bit long.
Cool. Look, it's one thing to act rotten to me in my garage. It's another thing to act rotten in front of my family in their house. And they asked you a question.
All right, fine. I'll tell you. One day I stopped at a stoplight, and the drunk behind me didn't. Oh, don't look so sad. The insurance took care of everything, except me walking again.
I wouldn't accept any self-pity. There was no room for pity. There's no room, no time. It's an illness, and it's a mental weakness.
Ever say, why me? Never.
Before.
Acting may be his livelihood, but athletics is quite literally Jim Knaub's life. Jim is aware of every movement his body makes now. The marathon is a symbol of his own identity, the essence of his very being.
There's pain, there's joy, there's all the elements of being alive in the race. The greatest reward, though, is the competition. The race is life. There's no equating. It is life. Winning means being able to die with a smile on your face because you gave it your best effort.
Jim Knaub said, in pole vaulting, you get 3 attempts, but in life you only get 1. My only shot is now. Roger Kahn wrote of Roy Campanella, something that could apply very easily to Jim Knaub. As he pushed the chair, he wrote, he bore the broken body and left us to marvel at the vaulting human spirit, imprisoned yet free, in the noble wreckage of the athlete and in the dazzling palace of the man.
If the car had killed you, Jim, what could you say you would have missed?
I would have missed fulfilling my athletic appetite and knowing how much farther I've got to go.
That piece was done 11 years ago. Jim Knaub now joins us up close. Still a competitor. You're going to be going out to another Boston Marathon. You've already won 3. What would you say, above all, still drives you as an athlete, Jim?
The things have changed in a sense, but I think that it's funny to watch that piece and think back about those answers because it's still true. I'm still, in a sense, like the pole vaulter, I'm still seeking the ultimate performance. You know, the thing about the sport that I'm involved in, it's reaching down absolutely as deep as you can go to get a maximum performance out of yourself at a certain time, and you know, I'm still chasing that.
Mm. Disabled, handicapped, challenged, semantics. People have problems with some of those words. Do you?
Not really. No, I mean, I don't consider myself disabled. I have a disability. A lot of people do, and I think maybe most people do, or at one time in their lives, just about everybody will experience a type of disability, but you know, I have trouble with other words other than those. So.
Mm. Let's talk a little bit about the fact that you were an athlete like Dave Dravecky. You were an athlete, of course, and then you became a different kind of athlete. This is something that happened to you. But is the basic inherent drive the same as a competitive athlete? Or do you have to reprogram yourself? Now, obviously with the problems, but do you reprogram yourself to think a different way?
Well, you know, it's funny because I thought I was an athlete before, you know, and it took a long time. It took 5 years into this sport before I realized exactly what kind of an athlete, or really what an athlete was, and I'm still evolving, you know, every day dedicating myself more and more. I'm still redefining exactly what an athlete is in my life. So I wouldn't really say that I was a different athlete then and now. I think that I was young, you know, I had a lot of things to learn, and I'm still learning them. So, you know, reprogramming myself for disability, yes, but I think that the only difference between the two sports is that now, in a sense, we're continually saddled with this burden of, the social burden of disability and disabled rights and things like that.
Is it getting better? Is society getting better, or we still got a long way? We're still in the dark ages in terms of how we treat people with, quote, disabilities or physically challenged or whatever?
Yeah, I think it is. It's funny, sometimes you see leaps and bounds in certain areas, in other areas it's still, you know, pre-Neanderthal or something.
Like the New York City Marathon doesn't have a division for physically challenged athletes.
Yeah.
There's an example right there.
That's part of it. But you know, the other thing is, I think that we've drawn so much attention to disability that it's almost, the pendulum's almost swung the other way now,
Yeah.
where, you know, people walk up to you on the street and say, hey, you're disabled, you're not handicapped, and they overreact instead of just, and you know, it'll swing back. People learn, it'll swing back the other way a little bit. But at least they're looking now, you know.
Let me ask you a question I wanted to ask of Dave Dravecky, we ran out of time. How has living with less made you more?
Oh, well, you know, he may have a different answer than I do, but it's funny because I find anyway, accomplishing even the little things, like getting here today, you know, is an amazing deal. And, you know, for me, I don't really consider it living with less. I live with a lot more than the average person, you know. I don't really feel that my greatest disability is physical. In a lot of ways, my greatest disability is the fact that I'm an athlete. The greatest things I've going for me is also one of my disabilities. So I don't live, physically, I don't live with less. I live with more.
And you'll have a chance to see, if you live in the Boston area, or you see the television clips, Jim Knaub competing again, and he's a champion many times over, 3 times in the Boston Marathon alone, competing worldwide, globally, as a wheelchair athlete, and an incredible thing to watch. You're a special man. I appreciate you coming by again. And it was a short stay here, but always reflecting helps us out, too.
Well, thanks, Ray. I can always come back, right?
You bet. Absolutely. Thanks, Jim. Good luck in the Boston Marathon.
Thanks.
We'll come back, wrap things up close a few moments after this.